Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Chatudash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shimon. This week's topic is going to be entitled The Prophets of Doom. Because that's what we are, right? Pretty much we you know, when you read the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, all right, it says, you know, make the vision plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. Either you're going to run with it or away from it, right? So this gospel that we preach, it's good news to a certain few, namely the children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and really as it stands, only an elect portion of them, at least for this first deliverance out of America. Apart from that, it's all doom and gloom, man, all right, because that's what the Lord is telling us to preach. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 28 verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. Now, Jeremiah said prophets of old. How old is he talking about? Since the dawn of time. This is the book of Luke 1:70. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets. Holy means separate, prophets means to say before, all right? Which have been since the world began. So the prophets have been on the scene for ages and prophesying, you know, good and evil. You know, it was a fearful thing when a prophet would come into town, because you didn't know what type of news you were gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Was it, you know, gonna be to my favor, or was it gonna be to my damnation? Right now we're prophesying against America, you know, for obvious reasons, all right? You know, every single law, statute, commandments in the scriptures are being broken here. And we also prophesying against 2/3 of our people, against 17 nations. We're prophesying really against the majority, all right? And we're prophesying for the minority. So when you see these different groups out there, just look what spirit are they in. You know, are they in the spirit of against this place? Okay? Or they're in the spirits of for this place. You know, 1 John, the 4th chapter, the first verse says you got to try every spirit. You got to see if somebody's truly a man of the Lord or not. You can't just follow them blindly. You know, even when we speak, apostles, elders on down, hey, challenge the things that we say. Make sure the things that we say are according to the scriptures, you know. Because right now we're telling you what's to come. We're doing shows in and out, week in, week out, going out there in the highways and byways, week in, week out, letting you know what time it is, all right? Jacob's Trouble, RFID Microchip, or other groups doing that. And if they're not, then guess what? They're going against the Holy Spirit, all right? Because this knowledge that we're pushing out truly is the true holy word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If they coming out saying things like we don't have the name, or that, you know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is not the name of the Lord and His Son, that you could take the chip and cut it out last minute, all these types of fuckery and madness, guess what? They're not men of the Lord, all right, and they're leading you to the path of destruction. And furthermore, they're not telling you the full scope of what's to happen. The Most High is always set up, along with prophets, he's also set up false prophets. Scriptures tell you, is the first 1 Corinthians 14:32 reads, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Yeah, the spirit of a prophet is subject to a prophet. So if you were a prophet in this life, you were always a prophet. It was always set up to be that way, you know, and that's a lot that you have. But same thing too with the false prophets. The book of Jeremiah 6:31 speaks about reprobate silver. It says, reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord has not chosen them but rejected them. That reprobate silver are the ones that have on the Israelite regalia, have the outward appearance, you know, and could deceive the simple into thinking, okay, this is what the Lord is. Look at it, it's a numbers game, and look how we're growing, and look how they're not growing. That's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's truly about what you're teaching, okay? Because you could have the appearance of an Israelite, put some fringes on, you know, grow your beard out. But behind closed doors, what are you doing? All right, and in open doors, are you teaching these prophecies? And that's what it's about. All right, prophesying against these great kingdoms. How many verses have we read where it says, "Son of man, set thy face against such and such"? Set thy face against Babylon. Set thy face against Egypt. All right? Set thy face against Idumea. You know, and we're setting our face against America. Scriptures like Micah chapter 2 verse 10 telling us to depart out of America spiritually and mentally, okay? You know, the so-called American dream, don't be asleep to believe it. But guess what? Our people, especially since it's summertime, forget about it. They're going to be wrapped up in the cares of the world, you know? They're going to be wrapped up in, you know, barbecues and bullshit and, you know, get wrapped up in mammon. Scriptures tell you, use the world, but not abuse it. Our people are abusing this world, you know? So, I remember too in summertime when we used to be out there on 34th, that's when, you know, a lot of faces that took the winter off, talk about people in the audience, they'll start to come back out. And they're not coming out in sincerity, they're coming out for entertainment. If they were coming out for sincerity, they'll be around now. But nah, they were coming out, guess what? For entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That's how come now when we teach, really, you know, we don't need no big people, big audience and spectators coming out. If people come out to listen, they come out to listen. But really, the outside is just a backdrop, as the Apostle Elder Tahar said. You know, because our real target audience, you know, we know that's, you know, the ones of you listening on the internet. You know. Jeremiah 1:5 reads. Jeremiah 1 verse 5, and it reads, it says, before I formed thee in the belly. Now this is the Lord talking to Jeremiah, because Jeremiah was afraid to go out. He thought he was too young, but this is what the Lord assured him. It said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation. So to be sanctified really means to be made separate, right? So the prophets have been made separate from the very beginning, all right? Separate from this world. The scriptures tell you, man, I've chosen you. I've chosen not the world. So, roughly paraphrasing, I've chosen you out of the world. Now that word there for world is cosmos, right? So the you that the Yahushua was talking about was his elect, all right? Sanctified us out of the rest of the nation of Israel to be a guard, all right? To be a warning, to be a mediator, to be a mouthpiece between our people and the Most High. The scriptures tell you, I'll set candles in Jerusalem, all right? That's the prophets. The role of a prophet is very important, and it's not just to bring people together to fucking have picnics and it's summertime and all this charades and propaganda. It's to prophesy the entire word, and a part of that word is doom and destruction, evil, bad times. You know, the book of Isaiah said our people don't want to hear the right things, they want to hear smooth things. Okay? Smooth things are coming after this place is destroyed, after America is destroyed. But guess what? We have to tell our people the truth that hard times are coming, and Jacob's trouble, we will be in that. Because believe it or not, the IUIC is saying that we're going to get delivered out of that Jacob's trouble. We're not going to be. No, we're going to be in that. And our faith are going to be tested. See, what these guys do is, because, you know, they try to make this word, they try to appease this word to more people. You know what I'm saying? That's their whole thing. But it's not about whether people like this thing or not. It's about telling the truth of the matter, all right? And the truth of the matter is this. That holy hell is coming to America, all right? And the elect of the nation of Israel are going to be tried, all right, along with 2/3 of the nation of Israel. The only difference is the Lord is going to have mercy upon his elect. Now it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Okay? So it was set up in the spirit, once a prophet, always a prophet. And, you know, when you jump down to verse 10, which I'm about to do now, it reads, see, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root up and to pull down. It says, and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. So what are we planting? Luke 8:11, the seed. What seed? The seed of the Most High, which is the word. So pull down and root up what? There's a time to build, and there's a time to plant, and there's a time to root up that which is planted. So right now we're planting the seed, Luke 8:11, and then harvest time, which the harvest is when you reap what you sow. But when you go into Matthew's, it tells you that the harvest is the end of the world. That's when we're hoping to be plucked up and delivered. All right. So we're planting things. We're planting the truth in the minds of the elect, and we're letting these nations know what time it is, that the destruction is at hand. All right. That's what true prophets are meant to do. Not be in the house of feasting and dancing and mirth and bullshit, but to do a prophet's duty, which is to prophesy the entire scriptures, the bitters and the sweet. Galatians 1:15, it says, but when it pleased the Most High, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace. So even the Apostle Paul saying, look, I was separated from my mother's womb, okay? To preach this word according to grace, election. So this thing that we are part of is deadly serious. Okay, this is the word of the Heavenly Father. We have to teach it unadulterated, unfiltered, unbribed. No 501c3, no pollution, no diluting the word, no compromising this word, no adding or taking away. Just the unadulterated bitter herb of this gospel. All right. That was a quick little transit. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kodash, the belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing that most truth and sincerity. Shalom.